Hi everyone, meteorologist Robert Spetta here with today's Western Pacific weather update. And what is going on today? Well, we have our latest tropical depression Jolina, just towards the west of Luzon here on Wednesday, the 31st of July. Expected to become a tropical storm by the Japan Meteorological Agency. If it does, it's going to stay on the weak side. Really, it is just very disorganized out here, but we are starting to see a little bit more circulation around that low pressure center. But for now, winds in it are right around 25, gusting up to 35 knots. You need 35 knot winds sustained for a tropical storm due to develop. There is a lot of convection with this though, and that's kind of the key that I see at this time, is that it does have a lot of moisture surging into the center of this low pressure area with tropical depression Jolina. So it is going to be bringing some heavy rainfall across the Philippines. Current radar right now, brought to you by Project NOAA actually, shows these showers and thunderstorms around the Manila area, especially off here towards the east coast. So you get that moisture coming in from the Philippine Sea here, but also the moisture flowing onshore from the South China Sea. And that's really where we're going to be seeing the heaviest rainfall. Down here towards the south there into Visayas, off there towards the north, as that low pressure area starts to intensify, it's going to be pushing that moisture onshore. Now this is what it looks like right now, but I do think that once it starts to move a little bit farther towards the northwest, it is going to be changing up its look here as far as the radar is concerned. So PAGASA at this time is warning on the possibility along the west coast there, about 30 to 40 millimeters of rainfall per hour. So with that said, you get that short time heavy rain showers. There is a very serious risk of flooding and even landslides out here, especially going through Wednesday evening. I do think that daytime heating is going to trigger up some storms even around the Manila, and a few of those could become, well, quite strong. So we want to continue to keep an eye on Jolina. It is going to be tracking off here towards the northwest, really along the southern periphery of a high pressure ridge anchored over Taiwan and southeastern China. That's also going to be keeping this moving relatively slow. It's not going to push directly off there towards the north. And actually, I don't even think Hong Kong area is going to see too much rain showers from this, because that high pressure ridge is going to suppress anything from really developing across this area. Maybe a pop-up storm or two, but the heavier rain bands really going to stay down here towards the south. With that said though, it is going to be moving into Vietnam, and I do think some heavy showers there in central and northern Vietnam very well could be possible by the latter part of the work week. Let's go back to that model outlook here for the second part of this update, and I want to talk about, well, I'll show you the final output from GFS. Now it's this. Now before I go any further, that is for Thursday, the 15th of August, over 2 weeks from now. It is currently Wednesday, the 31st of July, so a 14-day outlook. But what this is starting to indicate is that the tropics, I do think they're going to start to flare back up here into the coming weeks. This is from the 06Z model run. Actually, if we switch it to the 0Z model run, even had a typhoon making landfall there into Hong Kong. So something's going to be developing here. And with that said, let's go back to the 06Z model run. And there's another storm system before GFS picks up on this one that is likely going to be forming up here around Palau going into the latter part of the week. This, you can see some circulation spinning up there in the bottom right of your screen. I'll scroll it over. We have Jolina out here working its way out there towards the west. And then let's take a look ahead into Friday and Saturday. Something coming together a little bit more so here, and then going into Sunday, it really starts to form up, and we start to see a tropical storm actually develop. According to GFS, here on Sunday, making landfall there into central Luzon. 0Z model run even had a very similar output. So once you start getting consecutive model runs here of a tropical storm, it does look, well, it does look like the potential is more so there, especially since this is only about 5 days out. A lot less, but I think once we get into Wednesday night and Thursday, if we still see these model outputs and any convection starts to really organize here around Palau, then we're really going to be taking this a lot more serious. Right now, though, it could be something to do with an area out here. We do have a lot of positive vorticity in the region, so we could get that moisture start to organize. But really, there's just so much moisture on the tropics right now. We're getting into the peak of typhoon season. We're going into August now. So, yeah, it's that time of year where storms are going to start to really fire up. But that is all for right now in the tropics, everybody. I know there's a lot more going on. Please do check the website for text updates on what's going on out here across Japan. We've been seeing some heavy rainfall, the flooding here, especially in the western Japan, Korean Peninsula, northeastern China as well. Okinawa, I'm sorry. I know you need the rain, but it does look like most of this activity is going to remain down here towards the south because that high pressure ridge is in place. But it could change, and we saw that one output from GFS. It had a storm system pushing off in your direction. Also, I want to remind everybody, please check in with PAGASA if you are out here in the Philippines. It is the official agency for the Philippines. Tropical Depression Jolina, right now about 240 kilometers southwest of Subic here, pushing out there towards the west. They expect it to remain a tropical depression at this time. JMA only has a 24-hour forecast, so I'm not even really going to bother showing that to you. Stay safe out there, everybody.